How does a high-profile nominee survive a political firestorm? Or better yet, how do they navigate a confirmation hearing where every word is a potential landmine? This is not merely a job interview. It is a high-stakes performance on the national stage. We are about to witness a nominee facing a barrage of questions on everything from national security and foreign lobbying to her ultimate loyalty. The accusations are sharp, the political maneuvering is subtle, and the answers are meticulously crafted. But as we dissect this confrontation, a critical question emerges. Are we watching a masterclass in political evasion or the steadfast defense of a public servant unjustly under fire?
Appropriate, and that you will ask him to disavow or recant them when he comes before this committee, because they are indeed chilling to fair enforcement and the rule of law. Let me ask you on another topic. When we met, I welcomed your support for the goals of the Kids Online Safety Act. And Senator Blackburn and I have spent a lot of time, devoted a lot of effort to the passage of the Kids Online Safety Act, which happened by an overwhelming vote of 91-3, 72 co-sponsors, including Vice President-elect Vance. I appreciated our discussion and your support for protecting kids online when we met last week. I'm hopeful that this area is one where we can work together. Can we count on your support in working together to protect kids online?
Senator, absolutely, and thank you for that legislation, and Senator Blackburn. I believe in this world right now, we have to find the things we have in common, and that is certainly one of them, Senator, protecting our children from online predators. You've done so much on that front, and I thank you. I attempted to do that as well when I was Attorney General, but I am committed to working with you on anything we can do to protect our children throughout this country. When I was Attorney General, we started something called From Instant Message to Instant Nightmare, and educating parents about online predators. And that also, Senator, is one of the core functions of the FBI, the cyber unit. They sit there, these agents sit there all day long and investigate child predators. We tell parents constantly, you think you're talking to another child,
apologize.
and you're not.
I'm going to interrupt you. I welcome
Sure.
your positive response. I have
Oh,
one
go ahead.
more question that I'm going to try to fit into
Sure.
this round. TikTok will be banned unless it is sold, because it has become a tool for the Chinese to collect information and do surveillance and endanger our national security. Can you commit that you will enforce that law promptly and effectively? And I ask this question because President Trump's pick for your Solicitor General in the Department of Justice went to the United States Supreme Court arguing that the ban should be delayed. Will you commit to enforce that law on your first day when you are if you are confirmed?
Senator, as I discussed with you during our meeting, that is pending litigation within the Department of Justice.
Well, it's pending litigation, but will you enforce that law?
I can't discuss pending litigation, but I will talk to all the career prosecutors who are handling the case. Absolutely, Senator. Discuss with them.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Tillis.
Ms. Bondy, thank you for being here. I think I told you when we met, thank you for the time we met. I was born in Florida, have a lot of friends and family, and follow Florida politics pretty closely, and you've had a very impressive career there, though I do also have to admit I'm a Gator hater, so for the Florida alum, I'm University of Tennessee. But anyway, I actually, in some of these hearings, I created a bingo card to see what some of my colleagues on the other side of the aisle were going to hit. I want to go back to a few of them really quickly. One was about you being a lobbyist paid for and on the payroll of Qatar. Would you mind going back and repeating what you said in case people did not hear the involvement of your law firm and precisely what you were doing for the government of Qatar?
Yes, Senator, I was very proud of that work. It was anti-human trafficking in advance of the World Cup, and human trafficking has been something that's been very important to me my entire career, especially when I was Attorney General of
And
the
you
state
also
of
made it
Florida.
clear that you had a number of practitioners within the firm working on it. So this narrative that you were getting $115,000 a month from Qatar is correct or not?
Not correct.
Okay, thank you. I want to talk a little bit about, well, first off, I want to go back. You should be happy that so many comments have been directed towards Kash Patel, whose confirmation I am supporting. In fact, I'm meeting with him today, because that means they're out of stuff for you. So if it comes up again, you will once again know that you've got a great reputation and a great resume, and they are just trying to find things to put your integrity into question. You have answered the question repeatedly that that you will be loyal to the Constitution and you will live up to the oath to the Constitution and to protecting the American people. And I think Mr. Patel, when he becomes here, he'll be able to get rid of the myth in the same way that you did as a lobbyist for Qatar. He'll be able to get rid of that list of the enemies, be able to deal with the enemies list, and the marketing department for your opposition is going to have to come up with new material because that stuff is getting old. Section 702. You heard Senator Lee talk about some concerns that he has with 702. I believe it's one of the most important things that you can do early into your confirmation. You will be confirmed, and hopefully with some Democrat support. There have been dramatic reforms to 702. I've sat through an extensive presentation to try and make sure that the abuses never occur again and that you have a throat to choke if somebody abuses the protocol that's in place. I believe that we need to codify a lot of that. As a matter of fact, when I went through it, I felt like there were so many blinding flashes of the obvious. How could this not have already been a part of the approval matrix? So can you, after you're confirmed, commit that you or a designate will come back and provide for this committee an update on all of the protocols that have changed and recommended legislation for codifying so that when we do go to reauthorization, we'll have what we need to make sure that that program stays in place?
Senator, I or a designee will review all of 702 before it terms, of course, in 2026 and come back and report to you on both sides of the aisle.
Thank you. You have a great perspective with your time in the state and working with the Department of Justice. Give me an idea of things that we need to do better in terms of, and I'm talking primarily in the law enforcement role. I think many people don't understand the joint task forces, the law enforcement efforts that are going every single day in every one of our states. What an incredible job they do. So can you give me some sense of things that you would look at to say maybe we could do it better from your perspective of having been a prosecutor in Florida?
Yes, thank you, Senator. Yeah, having been a career prosecutor, I think I have a unique perspective because I was a state prosecutor, of course, prior to becoming Attorney General. So I worked on a daily basis with local law enforcement and state and federal, not daily with federal, but I worked consistently with state, local, and federal. Then when I was Attorney General, I worked with all three as well. I feel like we have to have better coordination among all our agencies, especially given all the terrorism issues that we've discussed earlier in this hearing. We have to wrap in and communicate better with our local and state law enforcement officers throughout this country. There are so many great men and women in law enforcement, and we have to, I don't know exactly how yet, but we have to figure out a better way to work together with the federal authorities.
Thank you. And I'm going to do a second round as well, but I think I also checked the bingo card for election denier. There were some people, that seemed to suggest that you were denying the election. I think that you said that President Biden is our president.
President Biden is the President of the United States of America, and President Trump.
What we have just witnessed is a masterclass in the art of political survival, a tightly choreographed performance known as a confirmation hearing. The stage features a nominee, Ms. Bondi, and her interrogators, the senators, who play dual roles as both prosecutors and defenders. The script they follow is shaped by deep political divides, where every question is a potential trap and every answer is a calculated maneuver. To understand what truly happened, we must move beyond the surface-level dialogue and analyze the strategies, the rhetoric, and the underlying themes at play. The hearing's first major theme is the neutralization of direct attacks through reframing. The accusation that Bondi was on the payroll of Qatar for $115,000 a month is a potent one, designed to paint her as a foreign agent profiting from a controversial regime. A direct denial might not be enough. Instead, Bondi employs a classic public relations tactic: reframe the narrative. She doesn't just deny it, she recasts her work as a noble cause. The project, she states, was anti-human trafficking in advance of the World Cup, something she has been passionate about her entire career. This shifts the focus from money to morality. Furthermore, she clarifies that the large sum was not her personal income, but a payment to her entire law firm, effectively diffusing the accusation of personal enrichment. Her supportive senator aids this by framing the question itself as a tired, predictable attack from a marketing department for your opposition, further diminishing its credibility. Contrast this direct defense with her handling of the TikTok ban. When asked for a simple commitment to enforce the law, she pivots. Instead of a direct yes, she invokes the phrase pending litigation. This is a powerful shield. It allows her to appear responsible and deferential to the legal process, while avoiding a concrete promise that could alienate powerful political figures who have expressed opposition to the ban. It is a strategic non-answer, a calculated evasion designed to navigate a politically sensitive issue without taking a firm stand. Her commitment is not to a specific action, but to a process. She will talk to all the career prosecutors. It's an answer that sounds cooperative, while committing to nothing. The hearing also showcases the powerful tactic of deflection, most notably through the repeated mentions of another nominee, Kash Patel. A friendly senator points out that the focus on Patel is a blessing in disguise for Bondi, saying, "That means they're out of stuff for you." This is a brilliant piece of rhetorical jujitsu. It suggests that any criticism of Bondi is so weak that her opponents must resort to attacking someone else. It acts as a shield, deflecting scrutiny away from her and creating the impression that her own record is unassailable. Every second spent discussing Patel is a second not spent grilling Bondi on her own record and potential conflicts. However, the most revealing moment of the entire exchange is the final question about the 2020 election. When labeled an election denier, Bondi delivers a perfectly calibrated two-part response. First, she affirms the present reality. President Biden is the President of the United States of America. This is the constitutionally required acknowledgement of a legitimate transfer of power. But she does not stop there. She immediately follows up with a declaration of future loyalty, and President Trump will be the 47th president. This statement is a masterstroke of political signaling. It satisfies the committee's need for her to accept the current administration's legitimacy, while simultaneously reassuring her political base and her nominator of her unwavering allegiance. It's a demonstration of walking a political tightrope, balancing loyalty to the Constitution with loyalty to a political party and its leader. Ultimately, this hearing is less about finding objective truth and more about a battle of narratives. The core question is not whether Ms. Bondi is qualified, but to whom or what she is ultimately loyal. She and her allies argue her loyalty is to the Constitution. Her critics imply her loyalty is to the political figure who will make her the next Attorney General. Her performance is designed to affirm the former, while never explicitly denying the latter. She successfully navigated the hearing not by being completely transparent, but by being strategically astute. She knew which accusations to reframe, which questions to evade, and how to signal loyalty to all necessary parties. The hearing was a test, and the skill being tested was not law or policy, but political survival in a deeply polarized age. She passed with flying colors. What do you think? Was this a case of unjust political attacks, or a masterful display of skillful evasion? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more in-depth analyses.